Albuquerque, New Mexico's largest city, was founded as a Spanish colony in 1706, although Coronado was the first Spanish explorer to pass through the region while in search of gold back in 1540. Today, more than 765,000 people reside in the mile-high city, but the region was thriving as far back as 1100 AD, when ancestral Pueblo Indians settled in the middle Rio Grande Valley. Modern Albuquerque offers an array of captivating world-class cultural experiences, such as the Museum of Anthropology, the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center, and the National Hispanic Cultural Center. Other fascinating must-do stops include the Turquoise Museum, the Institute of Meteorites, the Unser Racing Museum, and the Museum of Archaeology and Material Culture. Not into museums? No worries. The presence of the University of New Mexico ensures that the Albuquerque night scene is just as hopping as Austin, Texas or Boston. Albuquerque is also an outdoor enthusiast paradise. Biking and hiking are big time here. And the city is also renowned as the hot air balloon capital of the world. The annual Balloon Fiesta takes place the first week in October, and two memorable highlights are the early morning launch of more than 700 balloons in 2 waves, as well as the nighttime balloon glow. I'm your host, Tom Wilmer. Come with us as we explore Albuquerque. We'll first visit with Megan Mayo from the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Then we'll soar above the Rio Grande in a Rainbow Rider hot air balloon with pilot Eric Greenwood. Then we'll come down to earth and discover the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center with Tazba McCullough. Megan Mayo, Communications Manager for the Albuquerque Convention and Visitors Bureau. Hi, Megan.
Hi, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. This is so great to be here. I've driven through Albuquerque before, but never stopped other than for lunch or to fuel up. And so this is my first time here, and I am utterly fascinated with this wonderful little place. Tell us about some of the special things to do and see here.
Well, we love it when people actually get off of the interstate in Albuquerque and stop and spend a little bit of time. Albuquerque is a really wonderful city. We've got about 800,000 people in the metro area, which surprises a lot of people. It's a fairly large urban center here for New Mexico. It is a wonderful destination if you're interested in culture and heritage. We've got definitely the Native American cultures blended with the Hispanic cultures to create a really interesting culture here throughout the city, which is really evident throughout the cuisine, the architecture, the artwork all throughout the city. So you can really see some very different things, very distinctive to New Mexico.
I know driving through here that I associate hot air balloons with Albuquerque. Tell us about that. I mean, this is big time stuff here.
Ballooning is definitely huge in Albuquerque. The city is actually known as the hot air balloon capital of the world. And as you know from your balloon ride yesterday, it is a wonderful experience that everyone should try to do. It's definitely a lot of times a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and a lot of people come to Albuquerque actually to experience a hot air balloon ride. We've got the world's largest hot air balloon festival. It takes place every year in October. This year, October 4th through the 12th. People from all over the world come in. We get usually 600 to 700 hot air balloons.
All rising up over the horizon at the same moment?
Yes, they actually do it in 2 waves. We spread them out on a big grass field. They're all set out in grids. It's very organized. These colors just come to life as the sun is rising over the mountains, and it's absolutely spectacular.
And was it, somebody I heard talking about some night flights, illuminated, or?
Well, in the evening they have what they call the balloon glow. You typically fly in the mornings because the air is a little more settled. So they typically do not fly in the afternoon or the evenings, but what they'll do is inflate the balloons, and they're all standing up next to each other. So it's called a balloon glow, and they'll do countdowns, and they'll all fire their burners together. They'll do coordinated with music, a variety of different things, and it's really a lot of fun.
That sounds like a great time to come.
Definitely. You know what's so neat about Balloon Fiesta is that a lot of these ballooning events is more of a spectator event. You're sitting in stands and you're just watching. But here in Albuquerque, the Balloon Fiesta Park, you can walk amongst the balloons and talk to the pilots and chat with them about how they learned this sport and how many years they've been coming, and you'll find most of them have been coming for years and years and years. This is definitely somewhere that they want to be, to fly together with their friends, and it's a very festive environment. When they get done with the flights, they come back to the field and they have pretty much like a tailgate for a sporting event. They have the champagne, which is traditional for ballooning, and lots of good food and just a lot of fun.
Let's join pilot Eric Greenwood in a hot air balloon as it soars above the Rio Grande. So tell us about ballooning. Safe? Friendly?
Very safe and very friendly, yes. It's actually almost like a big family. It's we all try to take care of each other and all police ourselves too. So yes, it's a big family, and it has been proven that it's the safest aircraft to fly also.
In the limitations, though, you have to be real careful on weather, right? All
Yes.
factors.
Yes.
Tell us some of the indicators that are critical.
Some of the things that will keep us from flying are wind, rain, any kind of precipitation. 100 pounds dry. Wet, it weighs about 1,200 pounds. It's not fun to pack up. And they don't fly very well in the rain either.
How many balloons do you have in your company?
Right now we have 14 balloons in our fleet.
And on any given day or majority of?
It depends just on how many people have called in and would like to buy a ride.
And is there a high season, low season, an ideal time to go ballooning?
We're busy from about end of March, beginning of April through end of October, beginning of November.
Any favorite month for you?
Probably October.
And are there short introductory rides as well as longer rides that you can sign up?
We normally just do an hour flight. It really depends on what you're doing. I've done it sometimes in my personal balloon to where it's only been about 15 minutes. Most of the time, though, if you buy a ride, it's normally an hour.
Do you know about what the average cost is per person?
Right now, I'm going to say about $165. $165 to $200 a person.
What would be the maximum wind conditions that you could go up in and be comfortable?
We don't like to take off in anything on the ground with more than about 10 to 12 miles an hour of wind. Just too hard to control the balloon. They don't like to sit on the ground. They'd much rather be in the air.
Now let's rejoin Megan Mayo with the Albuquerque Convention and Visitors Bureau. Tell us about some of the cultural things to do here. I'm, again, blown away about the great venues you have here.
Well, we have some wonderful cultural centers, which is a great way to sort of get an overview of what the cultures are all about in Albuquerque. We have the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center, which actually just recently expanded, has a wonderful restaurant, a great overview of the 19 pueblos of New Mexico to really help you understand kind of what the Pueblo culture is all about.
Tazba McCullough is the Director of Marketing at the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center. Tazba, tell us where we are now.
Well, we are at the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center located right in the heart of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
What would somebody be able to see and do here?
Actually, you can see and do, you can watch dances, you can see art. We're at the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center, and we're located right in the heart of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And here you can have the first immersion, actually, into the Pueblo culture. If you're interested in visiting any of the 19 pueblos of New Mexico, because we represent all of the 19 pueblos here. We have a museum of culture and history. We have changing art exhibitions that feature Native American artwork with emphasis on Pueblo culture. We have a beautiful gift shop, 10,000 square feet of it actually,
wow,
that we represent a lot of tribes actually.
Very, very good. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time, but this has been great. For further information, a website that a listener might go to.
IndianPueblo.org.
That's too easy.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure and an honor.
It's been my pleasure as well.
All right. I'm your host, travel correspondent Tom Wilmer. We've been speaking with Tazba McCullough at the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now let's rejoin Megan Mayo with the Albuquerque Convention and Visitors Bureau. For further information about learning more about Albuquerque as a destination,
Definitely visit our website. It's www.itsatrip.org.
oh, once again, a great, easy website. I like those.
Easy to remember, and it has a great comprehensive list of information and activities that you can see in this area.
All right. Thank you, Megan, so much.
You're welcome, Tom.
This is your host, Tom Wilmer, reporting for National Public Radio affiliate KCBX, serving San Luis Obispo, and KSBX, serving Santa Barbara County.
Como una tinaja.